that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. I always get real nervous doing stuff like this, y'all, and I talk the world of Tommy. And I miss him a lot. I really don't know what else to sing. I'm supposed to sing a couple songs, but if it's okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank y'all so much, and God bless all y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rocky. Appreciate it so much. And I know when it's your friend, it's tough. Thank you for doing that much. It's hard. Helena has asked that anyone who has a story or a funny joke, anything that you want to say about Tommy, she's asked for just off the top of your head, fun things you did with him, things you remember about him, a story that, if it's okay to tell, we'd like to hear it. And if you don't mind, if everybody could move up a little bit so they can hear everybody, and whoever wants to talk, if you could come up here. Let's start with friends, and then we'll go to family. Any friends, Tommies, that want to come up and say a few words about him?
Maybe. See if you can record this. I don't know if I can put it on.
I'll tell you, I plan to have Tommy as a friend. He was a dear friend.
Oh, he's gonna say
Known him
something.
for a few years, and I think that was right. And John did before then, but I could always count on him. If somebody could always count on him. I'd go home for lunch a lot of times. One of my Bryce told me that he's sitting there and I'd hear the lawnmower start up. He was just a good fellow. That's all you could say about Tommy. He was just a good fellow, and that's what I'll always remember. The type fellow that he was. Loved his family. Talked about him a lot.
I agree with that. It's been over a month ago, and Miss Petty and I come up to visit, and he was sitting in there watching Gunsmoke. So I was a fan of Gunsmoke, so we sat down together and watched it. And I got a laugh out of him, and that is what I always want to remember, about that smile that he had before I left. And when I left out of here, I was nicknamed I am now known as Gunsmoke. That's what I'm called. But he's a wonderful person. I've known him and his wife for a very long time, Helena. Helena's best friend. All her boys, when they were born, I was there at that hospital and held them. But we know where he's at, honey. We know exactly where he's at. And it's like a quote from Billy Graham. they're not gone, they've just changed addresses. So
Yeah.
we gotta keep that in mind. So Tommy's got a new address now, and it's called Tommy BOSTIC in Care of God, Heaven Universe. And we gotta look at it like that, okay?
I remember when we weren't able to cut our grass over at Daddy's, he came over and cut our grass for us, and we were trying to get the lawnmower to get fixed, but Daddy's not very good at things like that, and he did it without a second thought. And I just also remember how much he cared about us. Like, I remember one time I was trying to go to sleep, and I always keep something covered over my eyes, but I guess he thought I was about to suffocate because he had me move it. I just remember waking up in the middle of the night with him, like, right over me, you know, trying to move it. I was like, oh, whoa. But yeah, he always cared about us and made sure we were going to be safe.
Man, I can tell you more stories about Tommy than probably I can remember. Most of them I will not tell in this company. Because Elena probably convicted me real quick for this one. We had a big family outing years ago at the beach. And Tommy rode his. I had a motorcycle too, and I left it at home and went in our car. And we were down there, and Tommy rode his motorcycle down there. Well, he got sun poisoning. Really, really serious sun poisoning. And he came to me and asked me if I'd ride his motorcycle back. And I said, sure, which I really wanted to. Got on the motorcycle and we were heading up through Florence, and a lady hit me at about 70 miles an hour. And, needless to say, it ruined his motorcycle. But the last thing he told me before I got on that motorcycle, don't wreck my motorcycle. And within 3 hours, I wrecked him. But he forgave me. And I like to just go a little bit further with that. Tommy, I'll tell you funny about him. One time, he was a little bitty boy and he was riding in the car with us. And remember the song Banana Nana Fofana? I don't know if anybody remember that?
Yeah,
He got to the truck part. And a word came out of his mouth that no 6-year-old should ever come out of his mouth. And I have never forgotten that moment when he did that. He was standing up, which is illegal in the front seat of the car. But one other thing, Tommy had a terrible start in life. He got some cards dealt to him that was just totally unfair. And he went in a certain direction that was inevitable because he was looking for something that he didn't have where he should have had it. And he went through a lot of bad things in his life until he met this lady right here. Tommy would have been dead a long time ago if you hadn't saved him. And he became one of the finest guys that I know, the kind of guy that everybody should love. And I want to applaud you for that.
Yeah. And that comes from all of us.
I don't need all that.
You deserve it.
I did what I wanted to do. I loved you. I
Yes,
had a
you
hard
did.
time getting a hold of him, but I got him. And I was with him until the Lord took him home. And I'll be with him again.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Well,
I tell you right now, he loves Helena because he was always worried about her. He helped us. We were his neighbor just a couple minutes away, and he cut our grass. He helped me for years, and my husband's disabled. When he would ride by our house sometimes and turn around, and he'd be looking at the yard to see if anything needed to be done. If it was on like a holiday or weekend, if it's something needed front yard, he'd come back and make sure it was done, before. But he loved Helena to death, and he said, I'm just so worried about her. She works so hard all the time. And she is a hard-working woman, and he was too. But there was no finer man than Tommy. He may have had a rough start, but he had a fine ending. He was a wonderful person, thoughtful. He loved people, and he cared about people. And he would, everything, I told Helene the other day, I said, every time I look at my yard, I see Tommy. Don't matter what you look at, you see where Tommy's been or what he's done. But he's a fine person, caring, and my husband loved him to death. And he was
a
one of
perfectionist.
he was just one of the finest people I've ever met in my life, and he sure is a special jewel in heaven right now.
amen.
I'm thankful I got to know him in my life.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Say growing up, like my uncle said, Tommy went through a lot. And, he lived with us for many years, on and off, on and off. I always had bunk beds in my room. I slept in the top bunk. The bottom bunk always stayed open, so whenever he come home, he had somewhere to sleep. It was like that for years, and I always considered him a brother. I mean, he was more than an uncle to me. Always helped me out when I needed it. He had a Chevelle back when I was young, and I decided to clean the hood off with a hoe. Just ruined the paint job on it. But he never said a bad word about it. That's just how he was. He didn't get mad. I don't know if I've ever known him to get mad. He was as easygoing a person as there is. Now he would be very uncomfortable right now with all these people.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
Very uncomfortable. That's just how he was. But, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all coming. Supporting Helena, like I tell you. Good chance he'd already been dead by now. Hadn't been for her. Changing his life. Putting him on the right road. Helena, we all love you.
This is what he wanted. I thought we didn't want this many people here.
Messing up his yard.
Yeah, he'd be upset about his yard.
And don't think that just because Tommy's not here,
He's here.
that you're not a boss.
No, he's here.
You'll always be one of us.
Thank you. Y'all always made me happy. Where I'm supposed to be. Right by his side.
Well, Tommy's always been there for me and my family, and he was there for my daddy when he passed away. And he thought that they was going to drop my daddy, and he helped him them put him on stretcher when he died at home, and that was real thoughtful. He was there for us when we needed him. He did take stuff off for us when we needed him. And he's been there for us. And we loved him. And we loved his family. And he's sat there with my daddy now.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and my daddy's mowing grass. he loved his grass cutting. And my daddy loved his grass cutting. So he's out with him.
He took pride in his lawn work, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thank him for it too. He did such a good job.
On behalf of Helena too, I know she said to me several times during all this how wonderful everybody's been, but especially elementary family. When you work at Ruffin Elementary, you become a family. It's not like a job, and I know Helena appreciates everything that y'all have done for her through all this time that Tommy's been sick. And I know what a good worker she is, so knowing her, I'm afraid she'll try to come back too soon, so y'all watch her. I just want to say on behalf of Helena again, how thankful she is for this, everybody pulling this together so quickly. Tommy just passed on Friday night. All this food that everybody's brought, it shows how much everybody did love him and how much we all love Helena and the boys. And so if nobody else wants to say anything, we'll have a blessing. And
I don't mean to correct you. And he has a daughter and another son.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forget it. I shouldn't be doing that because I have a stepdaughter too. Where are they?
Here's one of them.
I'm going to miss him as much as I.
Let's have these grandchildren come up here. Where are they? There's two. Where's the other one? Little